Ninth class, this is the first video of chapter number 9, force and laws of motion. Okay, so today we will start chapter number 9, force and laws of motion. We have studied about force in our previous classes. In 8th class you have studied about force, and the definition you have studied in 8th class, that was force is a pull or push. But since we are in 9th class, so there is an upgrade in the definition of the force. So first thing, how do we define force? Okay, this is our first question. First question is, how do we define force? So I am writing the definition. So this is the definition of force: an external effort applied on an object. Okay, it is an external effort applied on an object due to which it changes or tries to change the position, the state of rest or motion, shape, direction, etc. That means force is an external effort in the form of pull or push. Okay, we applied to change the state of rest or motion, to change its position. That means by applying force we can change the position of the object. Okay, by applying force we can change its state of rest. That means if an object is at rest, by applying force we can make it in motion. Similarly, if an object is in motion, by applying force we can increase or decrease its velocity. Okay, and we can brought it to rest also. Similarly, we can change the shape or direction, but the main thing is it changes or tries to change. That means maybe we may get success for changing its position, state, shape, direction, etc., or maybe we may not get succeed. Let us take an example. Let us say I have this duster. So by applying force I cannot break it. Okay, that means I am trying, by applying force I am trying to change its shape. I am going to break this. Okay, so I am trying to change its shape, but it's not possible. Similarly, if you start pushing this ball, if I start pushing this board, so that means we are trying but we may not get succeed. So we have to take care of this, that either force will change or tries to change. Okay, let us say that we can change the shape of this book. We can change this shape also. We can fold these pages with the help of force. Similarly, we can change its position. Let us say this is at this position and I applied some force. I change this position to here, to here. So that means we can change the position, state of rest. This is called force. Okay. What is the SI unit of force? SI unit of force is Newton. It's on the name of great scientist Sir Isaac Newton. We will discuss this when we study second law of motion. Okay, and CGS unit is dyne, SI unit is kilogram meter per second square, CGS unit is gram centimeter per second square, and 1 Newton is equals to 10 raised to power 5 dyne. So these were the basic discussion regarding force. So we know what do you mean by force. Okay, next thing we will study now types of force. In 8th class we have studied about contact and non-contact force. Now we will study, there are two other types of force. One is called balanced force and second one is unbalanced force. What do you mean by balanced and unbalanced force? So balanced force means when overall forces, when net forces on any object is equal to 0. That means if we apply force and their effect is 0, that means let us take an example. We have an object lying on the ground. A person A is pulling it towards his side, person B is pulling toward his side. So if I ask you where this object will go, you will say, okay sir, the person who will apply more force, he will win and object will go to that side. If I say object A is applying force of 100 Newton, Newton is the SI unit of force, and object B is also applying the force of 100 Newton, where it will go now? Answer is nowhere. This is an example of balanced force. That means when overall forces cancel each other and net force is 0, in that condition we call it balanced force. Okay, unbalanced force. Now unbalanced force means when overall forces are not zero, there might be some force. Okay, when we continue this chapter, we will study there is a formula for force, and that formula is F is equal to ma. Force is equals to mass into acceleration. So mass of object can't be zero, so if acceleration is zero, we will say that's the example of balanced force, and if acceleration is not zero, we will say it is unbalanced force. Next topic is inertia. So how will we define inertia? First thing, inertia has two definitions. First definition is the inability of the body to change its state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line by itself. There is one more word, itself. That means it is the inability of an object. That means every object in the universe which is non-living, which is unable to change its state by itself. That means if an object is at rest, it will remain in rest for a long period of time unless it is living. So living objects can move by their own. Okay, so you can take the example of the walls, the benches, and the tables, the sofas, the bed. So those objects are, if those are at rest, they will remain at rest. Okay, that means no matter how long you wait, your bed will not move by itself. You have to move by applying some force. That is called inertia. That means every object is unable. Not a single object which is non-living is able to move by itself. So we call it the inability of the body or an object to change its state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line by itself. That means if an object is moving in a straight line, it will continue to move. Okay, this is the inability. So to stop that object, we need external force. If object is moving, then it will keep going on moving. Okay, this is called inertia. Similarly, if we want to make it a little bit positive, since inability is means that something is not able to do anything, so we can change this a little bit in positive tone. That is the ability of an body. This is the ability that object is able to resist the cause of change. That means if we apply force to move anything, it will resist, it will oppose that change. That is called inertia. We can directly say it is measurement of mass. Inertia is measurement of mass. That means if mass is more, then inertia is also more, and if mass is less, then inertia also less. That means inertia depends on mass. This is the simplest thing we can learn from inertia, that it depends on mass. If mass is more, then inertia is also more, and if mass is less, then inertia is also less. Okay, so there are three types of inertia. One is inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. Okay, we got these 3 points from the definition. That means object cannot change its state of rest by itself. That means if an object is at rest, it will always remain at rest. This is called inertia of rest. Okay, if an object is in motion, it will always remain in motion. That is called inertia of motion. And if an object is moving in a particular direction, in a straight line, so it cannot change its direction by itself, it will continue to move in that direction. This is called inertia of direction. Okay, so this is all about inertia. So in today's video we have discussed about force and inertia. In our next video we will discuss about some examples of these three types of inertia.